We know that we've got a lot of talent coming up, and we've got a lot of faith in some upcoming guys for us. We just have to do our workouts for what our coach tells us to do, and we'll be just fine. Just run our splits, and we'll be fine and dandy.
Right. What about what's your goals heading in this year, Zach, after taking 8th in the 800 last year?
Hopefully do a lot better. Maybe I'm gonna shoot for second because I don't know if I can beat him, but
okay.
Yeah.
I got you. So what's this Andy Long, very good middle distance coach, as Brian's told me, and what's the secret and the success here in the middle distance, and what's about his workouts, or what about your guys' training that makes you guys perform so well year after year?
I think a big thing is just trusting our coach, Mr. Long, and just trusting everything that he has to say to us. And I think a lot of it helps too, is that we have a lot of team chemistry. We do a lot of stuff together, and we get along very well, which helps a lot. Okay.
Brian told me, Aubrey, that possibly looking at you at the 400 and the 4th event. I know he said he might experiment with the mile.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on adding a 4th event, and do you see that affecting any of your 800 times or the 1600 relay? I mean, how's that? I mean, how do you feel about that?
I think it'll definitely help. I mean, the mile definitely helped me with my 800 time with the endurance part of it, and I think that I'll do anything to help my team, and plus I don't really get a huge say in what I do at the track meets anyways.
Okay.
I just do what I'm told.
Okay, gotcha. And for you, Zach, I mean, maybe you're a little more of a 400 runner than Aubrey, but are you going to be part of that 1600 relay this year? Or are you gonna? Yeah, that's the plan. Okay, very good. So you guys have been in the top 3 the last 5 years as a team. Is that the goal heading into this year, to be in contention for that state title again?
Of course.
Okay. Is there anybody that you maybe think could be a surprise to this team or going to be helping out? I know there's some places at districts last year that missed out, but do you think, I mean, you guys would be the main point scorers, but who else? I mean, maybe name a few names that you think could possibly add, some points down state tournament.
I think that we have a couple of freshmen that coming up that I'm pretty excited about. We also have pole vaulter Keegan Casey that I think he'll do pretty well this year. He's been working a lot on the off season, and I think that it'll just have to fall into place. But I'm pretty confident in our guys that they'll put their best foot forward for us.
Okay, and after getting 156 last year, your state championship run, what's the time goal this year for you?
I'm looking for 153.53.
153, and why that precise?
Well, I ran a 156.53 last year at state, and I wanted to do 3 seconds faster than that.
3 seconds faster than that. All right. How about you, Zach? What's your goal time this year?
Hopefully get down to the 156, 157.
Okay, sounds good. You're returning, Zach and Aubrey, and as you mentioned to me, you got a lot of talent returning that almost made it state last year. What are your expectations? Are you hoping to be competing for that top 5 or state title?
Anytime you go out and look at the year, you're looking to basically, try to be at the top. And it's going to be one of those things that, yes, we do have guys to replace, but we also got some young ones. We've got some other upperclassmen that they're looking to fill those spots. They're hungry. They want to get to Omaha just like everyone else. They want to compete at a high level, and they want to score some points. And, without a doubt, I think that we can easily be top 5, if not right back up there at the top.
Okay, very good. So we'll go to you, Mr. Long. Okay, so Brian told me in talking to him that, you got these 800 runners just performing phenomenal year after year. I look back at all the stats, state meets over the years, and you got a placer every year. What's the secret to your workouts, or how do you maintain this consistent success?
I don't know if there's a secret. We just I've borrowed a lot from the time that I was at Hebron from the coaches there. Talked to a lot of coaches and getting workouts and experimenting and seeing what's good. But I think we just have some kids who have some drive and determination. It took a little while, but they believe in the workouts, and they're hard on them. But I just think it's having that belief in the workout, and then they start to believe in what they can accomplish.
Okay, I guess Aubrey, I saw he didn't even make it state in the 800 as a freshman individually, but he was part of the 3200 relay team. And then he was state champ last year. I mean, talk about his improvement and how far he's come. I know Brian told me that if he said he would have told him as a sophomore he ran a 156, told him he would have laughed at him. So I mean, how how did he make such a leap from his freshman to junior year?
Well, when Aubrey was a freshman, we had to have a talk about, we were looking at him as our fourth runner, and I believed early on that he could go 205, and I don't know if he really had that belief, and I felt bad because as a freshman we're asking a lot of him, but again he came through for us, and then last year the year before as a sophomore he grew stronger, bigger. He's got a great build for running the 4 and the 8, and last year he didn't break 2 minutes until our conference meet, I believe, and that was in the relay. But I think it also helped having the other guys around pushing him. If you would have asked me going in the state meet of those 3 who was going to win, I don't know. But I think that he just had that drive to do it. The funny thing is, after the state 800, he had about 150 meters to go, and he told me, he said, I can either settle for second or I can go for it. And I think that's just part of the maturity and the drive that he has, and he went for it, and it turned out well for him.
And then Zach Koss make the medal stand individually as an 800 as sophomore, and part of that 3200 relay team, and maybe talk a little bit about him and what kind of strides are you hoping that he makes this year?
Zach ran a 1:59.9 for us last year in the Open 8 at districts, and I think he was a little disappointed with his state meet performance. Although his 8th place has obviously helped a bunch in getting us tied for second, but I think, again, the maturity-wise, the grasping on to, hey, this is what I'm capable of, I think we'll see a big jump in him this year. And watching him before, saying he doesn't know if he can beat Aubrey, I think they'll be pushing each other. And the nice thing that we've had over the years was it really didn't matter who won the race. They were all happy and excited for each other, and I think that pays big dividends for them down the stretch.
Okay, very good. All right, back to you there, head coach. All right, so you talked a lot about, when we talked to them on the phone about, some dark horses, the Stewarts, Keegan Casey, just a lot of names that you gave me. I mean, maybe talk a little bit about them and possibly how you could see them contribute this year and take a step forward from last year.
One name that you mentioned was Keegan Casey. Keegan Casey is one of those individuals that he pretty much does everything for us. He has pole vaulted, he has hurdled, he's done some sprints, he's done some middle distance. He's a kid that, with his second place at state in wrestling, he's hungry. He wants to get a state championship. And it's one of those things that we said that if you go ahead and buy into some of the workouts, we think that he might be one of those elements that possibly he gets on that 4x8 team along with some others. He wants to hurdle, he still wants to pole vault and stuff like that. Philip Price is a kid that ran for us last year, came here, had to sit his 90 days, so actually didn't run varsity for us, but he'll hold down a spot in the hurdles for us also. Damian Stewart, Dylan Fisher. Dylan's another kid that possibly is looking at that 4x8, but they're kids that hold down that mile and 2 mile for us. So, again, we got a lot of spots that kids are going to compete and score points. And, he brought up the one thing about Zach, that 1 point. How big is 1 point? It's 1 point that tied us, for a state runner-up. So, winning is nice, but scoring team points is ultimately what it comes down to, because you never know when it's going to be 1 or 2 points and things like that.